Okay, Wura,
Yes, sir.
we can go on, please.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Just like I mentioned earlier, our topic still remains the same. Investment made simple. Now, why this training? I believe
Okay,
we can
Wura,
recall from our last training.
go on,
Um,
please.
I believe we can recall from our last training sessions earlier, whereby uh, we were privileged to have a training with the executive chairman on financial independence. That training, the reason why we're having this training is because many of us had questions on our mind even after that training. And some of those questions were, how do I go about this? What do I do? Because for some of us, it looks far-fetched that we can achieve this goal. But I'm telling you this evening that we can all do something. We can all invest. Now, the goal is to show practical, realistic ways to invest with the income we already earn. Now, the income you already earn, meaning all the money that comes to you. I don't know how many of us have tried it before that at the end of the year, you try to spool your bank statement and you are wondering, where did all this money come from? You are looking at your debit side and your credit side, but looking at all your inflows during the year, you are wondering, did this money pass through my hand? And you are imagining that no, it can't be this amount. I know we've all been in those shoes. So income, whether earned, unearned income, the little things that we are doing by the side, all the money that has come to us, how can we use that to make more money? Now, there's also this question always on the mind of everyone that investment is only for rich people. May I never chop rich first before I will invest? No, is a myth that we should withdraw today. Investment is not only for the rich. Investment is for everybody. Now, the only difference is you can start at your own pace. You can start small, steady, just like the slow and steady wins the race, right? So we can start from somewhere. I'll be needing some feedback to encourage me from people else, right? So now, what is investment? Very simple. Means putting your money somewhere in very simple terms. Now, I've tried to break down this slide in the most simple term to make sense to anybody that did not study accounting or finance or anything. So investment means putting your money somewhere today so that it can grow and give you more money in the future. I remember that when Easy was speaking to us on the training, he mentioned at a particular point that he received Tototo in his account, and he was even wondering where is this money coming from. Now, it gets to that stage whereby your money is the one working for you, not you necessarily working to make money. Now, is it not better when your money is the one working for you, or do you want to work hard every day till you make money? So I believe you can answer that question today, that I'm making a decision to make my money work for me. Now, I said planting a seed today to enjoy the fruit later, using part of your income to create future income. You can use 1 naira today to create 50 kobo tomorrow. It's still additional income for you. Now, just like I said, can people read this for me? Can we all read it? Isn't it sweeter when your money is making money for you instead of you working hard forever? Is it not sweeter? Okay. Now, I believe that we have all registered that what investment really means. Now, there are certain questions I would like you to ask yourself. before you start to invest. The question is, how do I make money? Where is my money coming from? That is first and foremost evaluating your income. And in evaluating your income, you start asking your questions. Who are you? Where are you in life? And where is just this is just an example. I cannot say I want to start investing and I want to be like my director. So I know who I am. I know where I am and I know what steps to take. So now, know where your income is coming from. Evaluate your income. Know where money comes in for you. Is it from salary? All the bonuses that you collect, incentives, the side also, the side gigs that you have on the side. Where is money coming from for you? Then all the urgent 2K, the benefit in kind that comes in, the money you did not plan for, and somebody just sends you money or sends you a gift, something. So evaluate yourself. You know, I've also told us in evaluating your income, you have to know who you are, where you are. So you can't invest what you don't understand or track. You cannot. So at the end of the day, what are we investing is money. So if you don't understand the way money works for you, the way money comes to you, there will not be money to invest, right? Now, another question in knowing who you are, just like the first point I said, evaluate your income. Now, the second is knowing your personality. Now, this is a one-page slide, but a whole book. I remember that when we were having our last training, I'm still going to go back to EC's training. He spoke about the psychology of money, and I believe that some of us should have tried to pick up that book or read a review on that book now to understand who we are. What are my money habits? Right? So, knowing your money personalities, this stems down to your beliefs, your habits, your emotions, and upbringing affect how you earn, spend, save, and invest money. What we are basically saying is that we are different personalities. My love for chicken, somebody's love can be for momo. Different love for what craves, what's my craving. Somebody's money, emotions. Some people, once they see somebody say, they shall know me, oh, this thing, emotions all over them, they are spending money. Or once one family member calls them that uncle's leg, he has broken or something, emotions, you just, so you have to understand how money leaves you. What, so at the end of the month, it starts by, we are first of all evaluated how money comes to us. Now, in evaluating how we spend now, we have to understand who we are. I mentioned that. And now, at the end of the month, you might need to take practical steps to say, where is my money going to? Some of us, it is that we cannot do without our phone, and we buy data every minute. And at the end of the month, you add up all what you spend on data. It is enough to invest. Yes. Some of us, maybe I should use myself as practical example. At the end of last year, I feel like if you are practical enough, it can help you to um, know the areas where you can pick. So I don't know it all. We're still going to ask questions and discuss together. I remember that I was looking at how I spend money, and I realized that when I go and make my hair in one sitting, because I'll buy attachment, I'll buy everything, I'm spending 10K. I said, this year I'll go natural. You can see my hair. I'm not spending 10K again. This my hair. I spent 1.5 to make it. So I just told myself that I need to be more intentional as to where my mom don't make jest of me. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. My husband likes it. So so you have to be realistic as to where your money is going to. Now, do you spend impulsively or carefully? Do you see, are you passing by the side of the road and you just smell small chops or buns? Not to. You have to ask those questions. Some people, sorry to say, psychology of money, I've seen guys that growing up, maybe one way or the other, they struggled with money. Their parents did not have car or something. And all what they use their money to do is once they have money, they are changing car every year. I've seen people like that. It still stands to that history. So if you can get that book, Psychology of Money can help you to actually know where you can help yourself to ask what you spend. And for some of us, every weekend they do party in our house. And we must go for the party and we must represent. And in 1 week, in a month, how much is salary? You know your salary. So you have bought Ashwebi and you have also, because your ideology is that kini one man so you just have to. I mean, we just have to be intentional. We just have to be intentional. There's some things that they are not so emotions. Maybe for me, psychology of money, if you bring Ashwebi to me, it might be difficult because I grew up seeing people bring Ashwebi for my mom and she'll carry the Ashwebi and go and give them back, say, share with me, so you have to know what are those things that what is money to you and how money drives you. Now, when you see money, do you save first or do you spend first? I know we have that slang. "Mo máa tọ́jú ẹ̀mí mi ná." We must, but there's something called delayed gratification. You have to be intentional. Because let me give you an example. So for, let me say you have 100,000 now and you save, somebody gives you 100,000 as a gift or you receive incentive 100,000 naira. You save that 100,000 naira at 15% for 6 months. What would that give you? Let's say at the end of 6 months, 5 times 100,000, maybe that will give you like 15,000 naira or something. So that, just a rough example, that 15,000 naira or 7.5, I'm guessing, end of 7.5, right? Okay. 7.5 at the end of 6 months, you carry that 7.5. I'm just saying, you carry that 7.5. I'm not saying you should do that, but you carry that 7.5 at the end of 6 months to then go to do shopping. Compared to, which one is better? Compared to when you don't want to wait for 6 months. Okay. It's the pressure. Okay. God will help us. So investment starts with discipline, not income level. Investment starts with discipline, not income level. Investment success is 80% behavior and 20% knowledge. What we are doing today, I'm going to share how you can invest and everything. But I just want to lay the basics. 20%. It is the behavior of how you see money and how you spend that will determine if you be able to what save. Am I making sense? Okay, that's happened. So before you invest, again, ask yourself, what stage of life are you in? What stage of life are you in?
So I'm going to try and pick this and help us in just my own way. If you're single, you're not married. Some of us are living in our parents' house. Part of the money that you should be saving every month is rent money. Because if you were not living in your parents' house, you would be paying rent. So don't tell me that you're single,
You are
you are
leaving your
living your
parents'
parents'
house,
house,
you are in
you are
EKIRS, for example, you cannot say
and
what your equivalent mate we pay for rent. So you can ask people that are your colleagues that are in the same level, how much do you pay for rent? Why not be intentional?
if you are married, they are married with children. You know, in stages as you are progressing, the responsibility is going up. There are stages to each level. Some people are married, they have just one child. Some people are married, they have 4 children. So is understanding how you can save. Adventure, you just go married. You have intentions of having 3 children. Can you, from your income now, push yourself to save for school fees and save into your children's account and start investing it? Let it start yielding money. I always say, I think I try to tell people that when you get to a child, know the name. Why have you not opened that child's account? A savings account for that child. So some people, even all the money that they give that child, name me everything, the parents still squander it to do a play party. Why? Please. Please. Let me give you, there's this analysis that somebody did online. You start saving for your child now. You start saving maybe 10,000 naira every month, or you see money save $5,000. I forgot that analysis. My husband was the one giving that. What it means, maybe by the time your child is 21 years old, your child is already a billionaire. So you can be intentional that those little things, little areas like that, you can be intentional. Now, there's also people that are approaching retirement. By the time they're approaching, I might not necessarily be paying. It's not equal for everybody, but if you're approaching, maybe you're no longer paying school fees anymore. So that money for school fees, can we still keep pushing ourselves to save that money? Because I see some grannies that once they retire, it's now parties that are started. They will cook for all the parties. So please, be fine. You're approaching, you might not be paying school fees again. You can use that money you have put yourself on the each state has different responsibilities and each state has different investment. Don't compare your journey with others. Just like I said, you can start at your own pace. You can start small. Now, understanding your needs and wants too is very critical. Your needs are things that it is necessary for living. Food, shelter, that's your rent, transport to work, your health. Those are the things that are very, very important. If you don't eat well, you might end up spending money for hospital bills. So if also you notice that the money you're spending on hospital bills every month is much, you might need to look at your environment, your what are you doing wrongly, so that you can do it right to save in that. Now, thank God that we are working in an organization whereby we have the benefits of HM. So if you have not been exploring that benefit as much as you can. I know they might not be able to give us the maximum, but at least to a very large extent, you can still save money from the HM. Some maybe I should not call my secrets, but I sometimes do that. To get first aid, I use my HM. They might not give me everything, then I add on to it. At least for first aid in the house, I don't have to spend money then for all those. So now your bonds, they are lottery items, frequent outing, impulse buying that you don't necessarily need it. So I know that we women, we usually fall into this trap. We go to the markets, we have the plan of what we want to buy, but we find out that we end up buying some other things that just enter our eyes in the market. Please let us try as much as possible to stick to what we need in our buying. Now, investment requires delayed gratification. Say no today so that you will enjoy years tomorrow. Now, investment starts with savings. Savings means money set aside from income not spent. If you can't save, you can't invest. You will always depend on your salary. If you can't save, and you might not be able to work for too long. Savings is the seed. Investment is the harvest. Any money that brings money for you, just like I mentioned earlier, the investment. Before I go to that's the step A of our discussion. Before we now go to practical use that we can, I just wanted to share this. In our buying and in our purchasing, I know that let's be realistic now. I know there was a time that it was in the news that the cost of living is actually very, very high. So the question is that how can we explain this? And I find out that yes, you can also still be intentional in Ekiti. So how do you spend in a month, for example? I found out that buying things bit by bit might not necessarily help you to save. So, for example, now, how much is a roll of English? Who has an idea of how much a roll? No, I found out about someone that I used to buy in one market. I would spend. And the woman said, two five. And I was almost going to.
Hello, Ayo, you need to mint. Otherwise, people at home are not hearing.
short-term investments. Now, when can you
Those of us that are to move, can we hear? Can we hear?
start today? 20,000 every month, 10,000 naira every month somewhere is something at the end of the year. So for
People can't hear also. We need to pause. Okay, I will have to go downstairs and regulate them. I think Ayo is having some internet issues. Please go down a bit.
bank, you have flex naira and all of that. I will still try to explain to you. So if you are looking at that small investment now, just like I said, the small part, I've given you one a job, right? I've given you the piggy bank method, and the app that you can use is like PiggyVest. I know some of us use OPay, whereby you set it to deduct a particular amount from your account every day. So you can explore any of these fintech options. Now, what does this do? It removes temptation to just spend, and it helps you to build discipline. I think it was one of my colleagues that was saying that at some point a few years back, how much was a bag of cement? A bag of cement was like maybe 1,000 naira or something. That I know a bag of cement is now 10,000 naira. So at that time, the bag of cement was maybe like 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, thereabouts. And that 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, some people were spending it every day, Mr. Biggs. Meanwhile, as some people are spending it every day, Mr. Biggs or Mr. Antalizer, some people were intentional to use that money to buy bag of cement. When I was growing, sometimes this fantasy is beautiful, but I don't want to share too much of people. I will share this one. When I was growing up, I remember that I had a friend when I was still very young. It was a Sunday ritual for them in the house. They always go to Mr. Biggs. It is a ritual. So I remember I told my dad that, what is it that in this house
every Sunday. And the feedback was, don't worry, I will make tea for you. You will drink it very well. You will enjoy yourself. So I can imagine that I enjoy that every day, and there are certain things that is unable to give me as a father. that would be a struggle. So those things, it removes temptation and it builds discipline. So let's go to the practical step. Now you have, this is piggyback. When you download PiggyVest online, this is the way the app looks. Now I'm just going to try and explain few things on the app. I know most of us already have it, but for people that don't have it, you have piggy bank. For piggy bank, once you move your money to piggy bank, you can only withdraw that money once in 3 months in piggy bank. So and in that piggy bank account, your interest is slightly higher than what you will get on your normal account. So your normal account is the one on top. For example, now, if you can see this slide clearly, it is saying up to 15% returns. So in your Flex Naira account, the interest can be 12%. But in piggyback account that you might not be able to move your money in 3 months, the interest can be 15%. But either way, still save money. Because I'm imagining that your money is in, instead of, I don't know, maybe there's any bank in Nigeria that if you put 10,000 naira, 20,000, after 3 days, you will see money. And you can also operate your piggyback account like your bank account, because you've collected salary today, 100,000 naira. You are not spending the money. For example, you are not spending the money. You move the money to piggy bank because you don't really need it, or you pick the money that you really need for your needs. You withdraw, say, my transport, my food, 40K. You move the remaining 60K there. At the end of the month, the 60K, 12% might have generated 3K for you. It's still data money. So you can start small. Yeah, you can use safe lock. The only thing is safe lock, the interest is very good. So let's say you put your money there, you pick the date that you want to collect. The only thing about safe lock is there is no miracle. Once you safe lock it, your money will not give birth to itself again until the day that you fix it. So you might have plans that you have this particular money as to use the money. Why not put it in safe lock? And after, by that date, you are getting that money plus more money. Now, those are this is definitely the you can buy dollar. Although dollar has been fluctuating recently, but you can buy dollar for money that you know that you don't really need. You can buy dollar and leave it there till it appreciates. It will be yielding interest rate investment now is 6% thereabouts. So the next step is mutual funds. Mutual funds is also very low to medium. So remember that in automated savings, I said you could do a job. And so, for example, you have saved your money 50,000 naira for 12 months, you have 600,000. Or you have done a job halfway. Let's say you are collecting money early or you are collecting money at the end. But I'm just imagining that you are doing a job and you are collecting 1 to 3. You have 1 to 10 and you are collecting number 2. So you collect that 500,000 naira and save it before number 10. You would have earned more money. Don't you? But don't do that as much. Look at what you really need money for. Yes. So so that money you've gotten from mutual fund, you pick that money and you put it, that 600,000, and lock that 600,000 maybe at 15% or 20% in mutual funds. It will yield money. So you that are thinking that you don't have money to make more money from the little money that you have saved at intervals, you have a large chunk of money to also save more. I think that makes sense. Now, we have low risks compared to stock market. Mutual fund is low risk compared to stock market. You have money market fund and equity fund. Now, where you can access mutual funds, you have Stanbic IBTC mutual funds. I think the way Stanbic IBTC mutual funds operate is per day. The interest in the market. So let's say the interest rate in the market today is 20%. It will calculate your balance there at 20%. Tomorrow, the rate is 18%. It will calculate your balance there at 80%, and it drops your interest on your account every day. I don't know if I've explained that way. So let's say you have 250,000 naira there. The interest today is 19%. It computes 90% on 250,000. It adds it to your money. Then tomorrow is 18%. 250,000 plus the 19%. So it's like a compound interest thing that it does for you. I believe that's the way Stamp Guide, because I used it before. Now you have Cowrywise also, and you have PiggyVest, which I explained earlier, where you can explore different type of savings. So this is one of the apps, AfriVest. Oh, you don't really need that. Now, I've explained money cycles is also low to medium. It depends on the integrity of the group and transparency of investments. It's usually more of like group savings. So I'm just, me now, I might say, okay, I want to start the money cycle in EKIRS. People can trust me. I can meet legal and draw up legal agreements for us. So there are 10 of us, and we decide that we'll put our money together, 1 million naira, and invest it in treasury bills or stock markets. But maybe not stock market, go for low risks. We invest it in treasury bills. We will earn more money than doing it individually. We might be able to get bid for higher rates than doing it individually. So money cycles sometimes work that way. Then sometimes you can also ask yourself, who are your friends? So I used to say that if there's even this idea that you're as rich as maybe the people around you. So if you have, say, let's say 5 friends, you people are averagely okay, you can decide to buy real estate and be having, so somebody might not be able to see, I'm just dreaming big now. So somebody might not be able to see 100 million naira at once, but somebody can see 20 million, 20 million, 20 million. You bring it together, you purchase a land, or maybe not friends, maybe sisters as a family, maybe family you can trust each other, but make sure that whatever you are doing in a money cycle or anything, you have legal documentations backing it, the terms and the conditions. So because it will also get to a point in life that you alone might not necessarily be able to push some capacity to do things. And instead of holding things together, if 5 of you can come together and pull funds together, you see, so there are a lot of areas in Adona, they will say, come and buy land, it's by the road, and you know that is lucrative, but you have only 10% of the money. You can ask yourself, do I have like 5 people that can also get 10% of this money that I can trust, and we can document to buy this property together, rather than actually walking away from it. So that's another option. So this is another app, ladder app. There are different apps, but I will only subscribe to the one that I'm using. I've told you, piggy bank, Cowrywise, it's a good option. Now, with short term, now we're going to like the mid-term kind of middle term. So just like I said, there are different classes of people. There is where you are. And I also want to also not push us too hard. There are some people. So, I said something that investment will help you to make more money. So let's say, for example, there's somebody in this room. what you are investing money for. You know, I told you to assess yourself as a person. My own format, my yourself as a person, and you have looked at the trajectory of your department or whatever it is in EKIRS, and you push yourself and say, let me go and do ICANN. You push yourself to write ICANN exam. When you are pumping that money, after you pass, few months down there, or somebody is writing ICANN or CIT, few months down the line,
when you are taking care of your needs, those other things that money is going to, is it making more money for me? If it's not going to make more money for me in any way or form, it's not helping. If at your stage in life, what maybe the remaining part of your salary is doing is to buy cement and start putting block together or buy land, is
investment,
investment.
because
Because
at a point in time, you don't also want to, you get to the point whereby that money that you are paying as rent, you will not get it as savings when you are done building maybe a small place where you can stay. By that point, shelter has been resolved. So I don't want it to be a casting stone. I just want to open our eyes to, just like I said in the first part, how where our money is going to, and is it making more money. So now, midterm, uh, an example is treasury bills and government bonds. Treasury bills and government bonds. I think for people that are close to me, for the past 5 days, I've been telling them that treasury bills is now 20.32%. Come and buy, come and buy. And because as at October last year, I see these treasury bills for someone and it was 16.3%. So immediately I said, now that it's 20%, please terminate that October investment, reinvest the principal plus the interest, and it's still going to make more money for that person. So treasury bills is good. You have fixed return. So based on the rates in the market at that day, they are saying it's 20%, it is 21%, it's 18%. You have that rate for the period that you want to. So now you are not asking yourself, what if I need my money? Yes, you can always need money for something that you did not plan for. That is why at that point that you need money. So let me say you fixed 1 million naira now at 20%. You have saved it for 1 year. At the end of 1 year, you are going to be getting like 400,000 naira, or if not more. So that means when you are collecting your money, you'll be getting 1.4 thereabouts. That 400,000 naira at the end of 1 year can pay somebody's house rent, and you don't have to use your salary to pay the house rent. You can use money that you have used to make money to pay the house rent. So I can imagine that in the middle you need money and it's halfway. You can always ask for your money in treasury bills and say, I need my money now. The only thing is they will calculate your interest till that day,
not a
deduct a
token
token
penalty
penalty
as
as
charges
charges
for
for
defaulting
defaulting
when your
when your
money has
money has
not
not
reached
reached
maturity.
maturity.
But
But
even at that day, you will still have 1 million naira plus something. So areas
areas
that you
that you
can
can
look
look
into
into to be
intentional
intentional
and
and
strategize,
strategize,
because you
because you
also
also
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
fix
fix
money
money
and
and
going
going
back
back
to
to
collect
collect
it.
it. You
You
can
can
strategize.
strategize. How can I save little money
When
when I
I
have
have
that
that
little?
little,
I'm
I'm
still
still making money. Don't forget, you're still going to be making money. That little that you have saved, you can now close your eyes and push it to something bigger to get more money, which you have now stepped into mid-term investment. For treasury bills, you can start for 500K to 1 million and above. So an example of where you can get your treasury bills that is well trusted is Investment One. This is their app. Now, we now have the long-term investment, the stocks, the shares. This is a bit, even me, I cannot say that I'm versatile in this area. It is in buying shares and all of that is medium high, medium to high. The higher the risk, the higher the returns, right? So, if you can tolerate fluctuations, this is where your market is, because you will not be in a hurry to collect your money back. You can buy shares. So, but there are also strategic ways whereby you can buy shares. Now, we are opportune to have online a lot of information going around. Now, in the past 1 week, there's been a lot of information on companies that you can buy shares from. And some people are actually giving, not all, but sometimes you also do your findings. So people are actually giving real information. There's something in economics, I don't know if you remember, insider information, that can help you take advantage of knowing where and where to buy your. But speaking to my younger brother when I went home for Christmas, and it was like, sis, it was the shares I bought early last year that saved me this end of the year. Because for some of the shares he bought, he made like double of his investment back.
Now, Nigerian platforms
Nigerian
that you can
platforms that you can
that
use,
you can
that you can
easily
easily
get
get
shares.
shares,
Tracker,
Tracker,
Bamboo,
Bamboo,
and
and
Trove.
Trove.
I know
I
you
know
might
we.
have heard of. There's Rise X2 is also part of it. Bamboo. Has any of us heard of any of those platforms? Okay. Yes. Because so why these fintechs are a bit better is because our parents now, because I remember that my mom, when she used to buy shares and she would need stockbroker, it's not bad. She will need stockbroker, but she doesn't understand it. So it's only when what stockbroker is giving her that she will this thing. So even now, you ask them, share wo gan lẹ́ni, but some of them don't even remember. They don't know. They cannot really relate to it. So these apps, you can sit down with it and study the apps. Ask questions, and some of these apps are tested, but not all. Like Bamboo now, I have friends that have been using Bamboo for decades. People that have been using Bamboo for decades. So you can study the market fluctuations. If you log in into Bamboo, okay, see for example now, you can see that you have different shares you can buy from. It will tell you the market rating per day, weight fluctuating, Apple, Julius Berger, Amazon. You can buy US stocks, you can buy Nigerian stocks, but don't forget that I said long term, money that you can look away from. This one is long term. Okay, you are coming from somewhere. So on Bamboo, you can take advantage of Dangote. It will tell you the price on that day. It will tell you, you can even look at the trend of how the market has been in the last 1 year. So if you study it over time, you'll be able to get the fluctuations. But in none of this, none of it still meet up with or double money. It will still not give you. So if you are thinking make more money for you, that we automatically shall want to see some Togochi, it might be. It's not. So you also have to be aware of that. It is where you have small, it will make small money for you steady. Now we have dollar and foreign investment. Sorry for taking your time, I'll be fast. Dollar and foreign investments. Although in Nigeria now, we've had a bit of crash in dollars. Some of us bought at 1.8, now it's 1.4. It's painful. But you have to know these are some of the risks, and that's why I said they are in the high. So that time they tell you buy dollar to hedge against risk, right? To hedge against inflation and all of that. but it has dropped now. But does it mean that it might not go up again? We don't pray for it to go up because we want Nigeria to be better. But still, you can still maybe make little investment. You can buy and save, and maybe tomorrow EKIRS is sending you on a foreign trip, at least you have dollar to spend. Nigerian platform to access this rice-based bamboo and true. I mentioned that these are some of their platforms, and now you can take advantage. I think I already mentioned real estate, and now we can take advantage of real estate. I don't think buying land is going to be still in terms of investments, not anytime soon. The land is the Lord and the fullness thereof. But I think the risk that involved is where you are buying from, and what we are certain that the family you are buying from, there are no land issues or land disputes. And yeah, I know that I think there are some real estate companies that can also assist you to get something versatile. Some people bought, I've seen situations where, like, because the interest that come from land is not usually not even double after years, but remember it stays for years. It's usually a lot. It appreciates, to always appreciate as the environment gets better. So if you are still young, you've seen an environment, if they are selling land for 500K in now, I think that's the area that is still very, because the university is going there and all of that. So maybe we should go and meet chief. Maybe 3 of us can buy land now before it gets very expensive, and in years' time we will see the benefits. Now, I want to mention that this investment income is not always immediate, but very rewarding in the long term. Very rewarding in the long term. It requires high capital, liquidity risk. It is not usually easy to sell, and location and documentation requirements. So if you have the this in land banking is also very good. There are good areas you can benefit from. I think Airport Road too is another area that we might feel that it's far, but in years' time it will yield us something. So we can look at those areas that we know that development is going there, and it does not even always have to be Ado. There are towns, there's Oye. So where our tax station is located, Igbebon, Osun, we have opportunity to buy a good land there at a good cost, very close to the road. And with chairman just gave us incentive. Now, incentive, maybe your incentive is maybe 100,000. You can, and they are selling the land for 200,000. Why not meet them and say, let me pay part, I will pay the balance in the next 6 months, and you are sure of what the land is. Forget about the land and come back in 5 years' time. So that's it. Now, the question again is to go back to yourself. You know, I've been saying yourself since. Know your risk tolerance. Can I sleep well if my investment drops temporarily? That's for long-term investment. You buy shares now and the share drop. Can you sleep well? Then you ask yourself, do I need this money soon? It will help you to know where to actually put your money. And I believe it's gradually. If you start small, from the short term, before you know it, you see that you are operating in the market of the mid term. Then before you know it, you see that you are operating in the market of the long term. So it's gradually. Am I investing short term or long term? So it's a gradual thing. Now, keys to successful investing. Think long term, start small, I've said it. Investment is not only for the rich. And I've also emphasized our needs and our wants. Look at that your needs, those wants that you are spending for, is it making more money for you? Be consistent. Diversify your investments. So you don't want to stay in one place. The market portfolio. You want to have vast different needs. So you have this BTN in piggy-based, you have this BTN in land banking, you have this BTN in shares. If you can diversify your investment, and also invest only in what you understand. Make sure you ask questions very, 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 very. There's this one that I almost fell travel that crashed very recently. CBEX, thank you. And the thing was, I kept asking questions, but I did not understand it. It did not make sense to me yet. So because they're like, we shall press something every day, then you will something will drop. Then what they were selling was that I think what they were okay, tap swap, yes. That I think you'll be buying from the market at the supermarket. Me, I people always make wary of those things because I don't have those channels. It's the day I put my phone in there, everything will just crash for everybody. So I think we need to understand what we're doing very well. If yours is in Forex, don't just give your money to somebody to do Forex. Understand the Forex. Know how it operates. Because I think it was Forex that they were using CBEX to sell. And they said that AI was doing the trading, everything. So avoid get rich quick schemes with so-called guaranteed high returns. Don't invest in emergency funds. There's something called emergency fund. It falls usually after your middle of your needs and wants because you don't know when you will need them. So you also need to have emergency fund. I remember that part of the things that Jana has taught me at some point was that there should be a point in your life that when you say you are broke, you should, there's this certain amount of money that you should have at your level. So your own level can be 10,000 naira. More broke. Sha know that my level is not chairman. I know my level that if I broke, this is what I have. Now, don't be pressured to invest urgently. Don't be under pressure. Understand it and also be patient. Be patient. Budget your income. Budgeting is very good. Just like I said, some of us will still need to go back and do that assignment. Pull your bank statement from last year. Know where money has come from. So when you know where money is coming from, you can also ask yourself some questions like, what can I do to make more money? You can also be intentional because God has really, really blessed us. And I believe that gradually, God will be opening our eyes to areas that we can make money from. Sometimes He sends people to us to, if you are intentional about it, He sends people to you to then say, why can't you do this? Why can't? And in obedience, you start working on it, you start getting it. So budget your income and also budget your expense. Now, avoid unnecessary debts. Please avoid unnecessary debt. Please don't click, take this loan, give interest. Sometimes we don't even understand it because the riches that they are even giving, the way the returns, what they collect from you, is like they want to kill you. So please avoid unnecessary debt. Let's live within our means. Just like I said, don't compare your journey to another person. Know who you are. Live within your means. Practice delayed gratification. Practice delayed gratification. So everybody we are colleagues and everybody is going to Apejua. You might not be able to go to Apejua. Please practice delayed gratification. let's be content with what we have at our level. Then be intentional to save consistently daily, weekly, and monthly. Also be generous in your little way. Have a small savings plan to be generous to one or two people and that matters. I know some of us fall victim of we want to be Lord, Master, and Savior of everybody. Please, you cannot be Jesus Christ. Please be intentional to be generous. A token of your salary or maybe of your money can go for generosity. And you know that when you have exhausted that budget, ó ti tán náà nìyẹn, kò sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe sí. So anybody that is and I find that a lot of emotional banking goes to some of these things. I'm sorry, I will still give you another practical example. I had a cousin. I remember that at that time, I think, okay, that was when I was selling kuli in the office, right? So he called me and said he needed money for food. He has not eaten since money, he wants to die. Okay, well, you are living with my auntie. How come they did not give you food money at all? So I think I made an effort to the profit from my my handed kuli, I sent it to him. And the next time he asked me for money, I did not have money to give him. Then he messaged me and said, it's not even money to buy clothes that I'm asking you. It's just for money to buy. So a lot of people will be entitled to your pockets. Well, maybe even my mother will have to be that today. But if you are entitled to my pocket, that's if I divide my salary by 30 days, I know what my wage is per day. So if I'm giving you half of it, that's 8 hours. So it has to be that my generosity must be well planned, even in our generosity. So money is a servant, not a master. Right? Yeah. Yes. It should not control us. Final takeaway. Investment is not scary. Investment is not for the rich. Investment starts with small, consistent steps. Start where you have with what you have. Thank you. So,
Thank you. Now we give a round of applause. I think that's going to do it. And so what to do now is that we're going to give our online audience opportunity to ask about 4 or 5 questions, and then we'll take questions in now. So we're going to allow you to unmute yourself, but if you are not speaking, or you raise up your hand if you want to speak, then I will mute you. Otherwise, don't speak when you're not supposed to speak, so that the whole thing will not be round. Thank you.
Is anybody raising up hand? Ayo, please remove your slides. And then anybody that wants to ask questions, you now have an opportunity of unmuting yourself.
All right, so thank you, Mrs. Apejua, for that beautiful presentation. It is so lovely. But I have a question. You talk about treasury bills, and I'm very aware that these bills are supported by the federal government. So I want to know, what is the limited amount that someone can use to start to invest in that kind of this thing? Thank you.
some of us have the knowledge of also fiscal, the way the government sells this bond to pump up money from the economy, right? So they buy the primary market is usually for those that have that large chunk of funds. But the secondary market is also available. So when those ones buy, so somebody buys at, maybe for example, now just an example, takes 100 million to the primary market, gets shares government bonds at 22%. He then comes to the secondary market and he sells to people that can buy 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million at maybe 19%. He's going to still make money in the primary market and also make money in the secondary market. But what happens most of the time is most banks are not always truthful. So they've gone to the primary market to buy at 22% and they will now sell for you at 14%. So the gap is a lot. So for us at that level, we can always operate at the secondary market, and I'm giving you the option. You can still go and check investment one and check other, so that it will not look like I'm doing marketing for them. You can also look for other treasury. I think ARM
Yes.
is also a very good example of where you can benefit secondary markets investment. So from secondary market, from 500,000, you can take your money to buy from the secondary market.
Okay, thank you. Ayokunle Ayomide is raising up her hand. Ayokunle Ayomide, you can speak, please. Make it brief.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation. So my question is concerning the treasury bill. Let's assume that you're buying maybe at 23%, and then when you're buying, you want to take your interest at maturity, and then maybe along the line in the year, the percentage drops. So what percentage would they give you your interest at? Is it at the dropped percentage or the initial percentage that you bought that day? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So for secondary market is fixed returns. So at the day where you are taking your money to the market, the rate at that day determines your fixed returns. So the rate at that day, I cited an example that recently treasury bill secondary market is going for like 20 point something percent. Meanwhile, last year ending, we were getting fixed daily rate at 17%, 16%. So now you can take advantage, because I think it's January and the government wants to pump up money from the economy. So you can take advantage of the 20% now. So but it's fixed, it is not fluctuating. That's why it is low, medium risk. Your interest is fixed and you know what you will get at maturity. It's fixed.
Adedeji Ademilolu, your hand is up. Ask a question before we go to Folashade Weye. Thank you. Adedeji Ademiloye, I've unmuted you. You can speak. Okay, maybe he raised up his hand in error. Folashade Weye ask, my question is, which investments are most suitable in this current Nigeria economy? Give reasons, ma.
That's interesting. I think the reason I will still give you is it not sweeter for you to use money to make more money? Yes. And for the investments that are suitable for you, I think I try to explain from the short term to the medium term. So from the short term, you can start from saving up your ajo, then you can save up in piggy bank where you'll be getting daily interest. You can use the flex naira, you get interest at maybe like 13%. You know that even though it's money that you are still using every day, but it will still be generating something for you like that. So there are suitable investment that you can go into. And it is the good reason is that it is sweeter for you to use your money to pay loan.
Adedeji Ademiloye, you need to speak up so that we can hear you. Unmute and then speak up. Adedeji Ademiloye. If we can't hear you, I think the best may be that you type your question. Or can anybody hear him? We can't hear you, so type your question. Thank you. Maybe we take some questions in-house. If anybody still has question online, you can raise up your hand or you put it in the chat room. We will read it and... In-house here, anybody? Point the camera at them. Any of you in-house, do you have any question? You don't have any question? Okay. Ella has a question.
Thank you so much. Our dear beloved teacher, we really appreciate your teachings. And I just want to ask that, since you have taught us now, we might not really know what to do. Even afterwards, you said we need to gain proper understanding before we invest in whatever we invest in. So can we still reach out to you afterwards, after holidays?
Yes, you can reach out to me only if you are with money. No, not money that I want to collect, though. Money to invest. So that you will tell me how much you have saved, so that I can then advise you that this is where you can put your money into. You understand? Or what amount of money do you have? Sometimes I had a friend that one uncle just sent him money to keep 3 million naira there, but the money was sitting in the account. And then said, the money was sitting in your account. No. When you can use piggy banks, before they ask for his money back. So you can have all those people that they don't need their money. Money that, or maybe if you have money that you are not spending, that you don't need, you can give me for the meantime. I'll give you back your money.
All right, there's a question from Olamiriki Oluwakemi. It says, thank you for the presentation. Please, can you explain more about cowrie wise? And after that, Adedeji Ademiloye says, Ma, if someone is doing business and the business is flourishing, and maybe through Ojukokoro, and the person has been scammed with his business money, Ma, what is your advice to that person?
I think people in the house have answered your question. So I think the question is, you start all over again. And it's always better that you make some investment decisions and mistakes at certain points in life. There are certain points you get to, you don't want to make some investment. So look at that lesson. Look at that mistake that I think is a mistake as a lesson. And then be intentional. But one thing I'd like to add to that is don't forget to also separate your business from yourself. So you can start by opening your business account so that you can track all the money that is coming to your business. Some of us also model it up so that you can know that this is what this business is giving to me. This is what my salary is giving to me. So that will help you. Then for cowrie-wise is still like piggy-based. It's a mutual fund account. It's just that you might need to understand and study the pattern. Most of the time, their interest rates are always usually at the same level. It's just that some apps might have better functions than the other. By the time you use piggy banks more, there's something there that you even have allocated funds. So I try to allocate it. This is my budget for food. This is my budget for this, for my needs. Then I know when I'm taking money from it, and I know what is left for the month. So different apps have a way of enhancing how you spend. And sometimes, even on piggy banks, I think last year they gave me a summary of who am I, how I save money, how I spend money. There's a way that they'll give you a report. They call it WAEC. Yes.
Okay. Omalayo asked a question. Madam Moderator, I want your advice. Which one should I go for? Commercial paper or treasury bill for just short term, like 6 months?
I may not be able to answer that.
Okay, I would answer later. Then another one, Adebola Adeshuyi says, just an addition, you can convert from naira and fix your money in dollar on piggy vest. Aside from giving safety and increment to your money, it also helps in currency stability. That is, dollar does not fall like naira. Very sweet when you want to withdraw. I think that's just a comment. Now the person that is asking question about commercial paper. Commercial paper is more or less by like you are loaning money. You are giving money to a particular company. It could be maybe any of these very big companies that want money badly and they don't want to go to the bank. And so you have to look at what is the interest rate, number one. What again is the ability, what's the reliability level of that company. It matters a lot. If you are an accountant, you try to look at what is the annual returns of that company. If last year, for example, you realize that that company borrowed a lot of money and they used mainly borrowed money for business, that could be a pointer that, hey, your money may be ending. So the returns will always look very high. But when you invest in treasury bill, it's as good as you are loaning your money to the federal government in particular. And so if there is no war, that treasury bill is more secure. And Nigeria is an upward place because in other parts of the world, treasury bill often attracts maybe 3 or 4%. And that's why in the world of finance, you are told that treasury bill is a riskless investment. That is, it has no risk at all. And when you want to know where should I invest into, that now forms a base of, oh, if I can get this one, okay, I want to get one. That's why I'm going to commercial paper and going into some other form of investment. And then Wura also said she doesn't know so much about shares. Mine, I have done a lot of shares in the time past, but I have not touched shares in the last 10 years plus. And the reason is this: the older you are, the less your risk appetite. And if you are also wise, the less the kind of risk you take. But if you remove 20 years from my age, I'll still go into a lot of stock. Stock means you buy. For example, if you bought some companies, let's say you invested 2 million into some shares January. By now, we are just in we are still in January. Yes. This year, some have had return of up to 30%. That means if you invested 2 million in January, your money is now 2.6 million. Gabadaya, I enjoyed it a lot in the time past, in particular around 2004, 2005, there. I remember if I wanted to buy anything, I would just call my share, my stock broker then and say, okay, which of my shares will you sell for me to get to so amount? I wanted to buy a keyboard, for example. Keyboard at that time was 180,000. Can you list for me some of my shares I will sell? And I will now get the proceeds of 180,000. So he told me I couldn't sell it. He sold it. The profit I made on those shares was about 180,000. I bought and I returned my money again, so my capital still remains.
Now 2 weeks ago.
So you also have to be careful. And because if you don't understand it very well, it can raise you big time. Big time. I'll give you an instance. I invested 1 million in January. By April, my money had become 1.4. That's a huge one. Even if I put it in treasury, it will take about 2 years for me to get 1.4. So within 4 months, I've had about 40% return, which was good. And so I now went ahead, and just for you to learn from it. And now said, that means instead of 1 million, if it was 10 million I invested, that means I would have gained 4 million. So I went ahead, borrowed money
from one of the banks. And then I invested. The agreement was signed. It was such that if the investment, if the price should crash a little, they should sell the shares, recover their own money, give him my own change. The thing dropped. Sell, make you sell, they don't hear me. So I lost a lot of money. Thank God for God. You know, so that's why you have to be careful. It could be a good investment, in particular if you are young. If you are young, for example, if the price crashes, you can decide to stay put. After a while, if it's a good company and it has good fundamental, you'll be collecting dividend. So I still have some shares, they still pay me some dividend. I remember when I was doing housing project, I was looking for money, and I scrolled into First Register one day, and I said I should have some shares, maybe I will have some dividend that I have not collected, blah blah. And they checked their record. That day I went over to check dividend of about 600K. I was like dancing, wow. So this money was there and I did not know. So shares, if you understand, if you are younger, study more about it, understand that you can use it to grow your investment. But even when you look at the way your pension fund administrators handle your money, immediately you clock 50, they will tell you that we are going to move your money to fund 2 or whatever they call it. And that fund 2, for example, will not generate as high interest, as more investment income as the other one before you are 50. The reason is simple: below 50, you still have some future, you can still play game and whatever it is. But when you are 50, you don't want to have hypertension. You decide today, it is slow tomorrow. You decide today, and then you are now afraid. Hey, what is First Bank saying? What is DP Bank trading? Hey, oh, the crash. Hey, you don't want to do that one at a certain age. But when we were younger, we could play with it. And if you crash, in fact, I was also encouraged that time. There was one guy on radio who said, now that the price is crashing, it's an opportunity for you. You don't cry when the price of bread is buy more. And so we are buying more, and it didn't get on crashing. So that I bought at 44 naira, it crashed in my own time to 24. Lost 20 naira. I said, okay, this told me, say buy more. That when you buy more, you will mix it so that this one that will be cheaper now, you will use it to do other one. I bought more, and eventually that chair came as low as 4 naira. So if you bought something at 44 naira, and then you now have to sell it at 4 naira, I just left it. I couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, bankers were calling for their own money. So I had to sell the house that I built to Internet to liquidate something and then move on with my life. So investment is good, and that's because of the pains I've had in the time past. The body. That's why I decided that look, let's put something together. And Wura has done justice. You will agree with me. And so if you want to see her, please be intentional. Don't wait. She doesn't have all the time in the world. It's just that we are colleagues. Some of these lectures you are supposed to pay for it. And even if you are consulting her, you are supposed to pay for it. So if she's doing it, don't waste her time. If you don't have the money, don't bother to go and ask her. But God is going to supply the money where which you are going to invest. I don't know whether any of you still have a comment before I give the closing remark and we go. Almost 7 o'clock. Is there anybody online that wants to talk again? Check. Nobody. Huh? Okay. So thank you all for this evening. I think it's a time well invested. By the grace of God, don't tell those that are offline. I'm saying don't tell those that are not online. Those that are not attending. By the grace of God, by tomorrow, you will hear that on your center. The intention is to make sure you have this lecture so that you don't waste the money. And by the grace of God, before close of business on Monday, those of you that use our kind of bank, you also get a lot for your salary. So if you get something tomorrow, and you also get my belief is that hello, it will be many things, but I wanted us to have this discussion. And then have an idea because money is a very funny thing. As a small someone has it and that's why you have to be serious minded and be forward looking and plan very well. I also have another thing for you to explain. But after this initiative, I don't know where next. After what is all these things, I don't know when ministers will. We are only trusting God that revenue will come. So there are quite a number of things that the members of management were brainstorming. How can we make sure? How can we make sure? How can we make sure? That's why I'm just begging everyone. Whatever comes to your hand, is it 20,000? Is it 40,000? Make the best. Don't say, he didn't tell us, don't say, he didn't want. Make the best use of it. Find out one key thing that Wura said, don't put your money in any investment you don't understand. Don't put your money in any investment you don't understand. I have warned some people in time they disobeyed and they paid their deposit. I don't want any of you to pay their deposit. Because you see, it's not good you not see your money is not working like a ghost. I don't want to talk. I still have to deal with one at around 11 p.m. yesterday. And I'm racking my brain on how to solve it. Took some credits, and then they thought we would get a particular business deal with which we would get money quickly to settle the thing. And it could not. And so the interest, they are slapping it on him every month. And so when you speak, it's always looking harassed, looking sad, and then one investigation to the other, only for us to realize that he's taking a facility and the job he was thinking he was going to get to liquidate it was not coming forth. So don't avoid as much as possible, avoid taking loan. I don't know how to preach it. You see, don't go faster than, don't run faster than your leg. It could be something else. If Mrs. Dada retires, for example, she already knows about poultry. She already knows about egg. So she can use her money, whatever she gets as incentive or whatever, to expand that line of business. Don't wait until you want to retire to now begin to say, oh no, she big business. Oh my God. It's not when you are retired that you now begin to learn about fishing. No, how to run fish farm. No. Begin to learn it, begin to practice it with small things now. You don't just jump with your 2 legs at the same time. We cannot do more than this. We have done our own part to help you. The rest is now yours. It's not every organization that does this kind of thing. But because you know that I love you, like the father, I want to sit back 5, 6, 10 years down the line. I even know when I would have gone. That wherever we see, you will see people to say, okay, that lecture that day, you bless me. Wura, that lecture that day, you bless me. And then you do what I did to one of the principals of the school, my principal when I was in the secondary school, when he came for the 60th anniversary of Alma Mater. You see students running after that man. He's late now. People giving in, not that he needed it, but look, you've done some things definitely in my life. I want to just sow into your life. God bless you. Shall we bow our heads in prayer? Lord Almighty, we thank you for how far you have helped us. To you be honor, to you be adoration. We thank you for EKIRS. We thank you for your love that has enabled us to share this. Ordinarily, people don't share some of the secrets that we have shared together. In love of God and with purpose that everybody in this organization will prosper and flourish. Therefore, the grace of God to make use of what we have done today, for it to transform our financial lives, for us to not only to be blessed, but to be blessings to others. Release upon everyone in Jesus' name. You are the God of prosperity. You are the one that says, whatever we lay our hands upon, you will make it to prosper. We therefore trust you that you will prosper the work of our hands in Jesus' name. As an organization, we are trusting you, O God. It looks tough at this point in time, with the election coming, with the tax reform laws, but God of possibility you have. Once upon a time, we didn't know we'll cross 1 billion, so you help us. We'll cross 1.5, we'll cross 2 billion. Lord, the grace to even move higher. Despite all the headwinds this year, you give unto us in Jesus' name. Yes, we have said we don't know when the next incentive will come, but you are a God of pleasant surprises. Surprise us mentally, Lord, in Jesus' name. Individually also to grant us wisdom to use whatever you have put in our hands very well, oh God. That when we look back, we will have reasons to celebrate and to rejoice together. We will not just be tax collectors, or make us son taxpayers. Help us to invest in such a way that we will also make so much money and will be able to even pay good taxes, oh God, to witness that God will be good to us. In Jesus' name we are praying. Thank you for Wura, thank you for every other person that has contributed one way or another to make this a reality. You will bless us, you will bless our homes. As we go, you will go with us, mighty God. Christ most and name we are praying. Amen. Thank you all and God bless you. Thank you.
Very good now.